Are you tired of paying in excess of $10 a pound for chicken salad? We're going to teach you how to make your own and find out which type is cheaper. We're also going to test out some viral methods for shredding chicken and see which one is best and which ones don't require specialty equipment. So let's go. The first thing we're going to do is make a baked chicken salad, and the reason we are baking our chicken instead of boiling it is that we're trying to keep as much of that flavor in the chicken as possible and make sure that we are not letting that leach out into water and make sure our seasoning is not going away too. So you're going to start out by oiling the bottom of a casserole dish with olive oil. If you don't want to use olive oil, you can use any type of oil that you'd like to. In any of these steps, you can change up the seasonings or anything however you would like to. So you're going to place 4 chicken breasts, or however many chicken breasts you think you'll need, into a dish, ugly side up, and oil the top of them. And any of these steps are very customizable, so just whatever you think you'll need, use that. We are not putting these on a rack because we want to keep all that moisture in the chicken. Then you are going to season liberally with Greek seasoning and lemon pepper, but once again, you can change up these seasonings as you'd like to. And when you are seasoning this, you want to do what you think is an unreasonable amount and then just go a little bit more. You want to really season this up because by the time you add all the mayo and stuff in there, it's going to dissipate quite a bit. Then you're going to put this into a 350-degree oven, set your timer for 30 minutes, and let it go. And you're going to be checking it after that 30 minutes. So once you check that temperature, it needs to be at 165. If it is not at 165, you're going to set your timer for 5 more minutes and check it each time after 5 minutes until it reaches that temperature. Then you're just going to pull it out and let it cool and then get ready to make your chicken salad. So we are going to be trying out 4 different methods of shredding chicken just to see which one works the best and which one uses equipment that you have in your house. So the first method, we're going to be using a stand mixer, and a lot of people don't have stand mixers, but we're just going to try it to see how it does. And most people use a paddle attachment for this, and I think this one might work a little bit better with maybe boiled chicken. With the baked chicken, it did leave some chunks, so it worked okay, but not great. This is not a method I would really use again because it's a lot of dishes for not much impact, and I still at the end ended up having to cut up a couple of chunks and stuff, so that's something that I probably would not do again. Now the next method is going to be with a hand mixer, and especially with the KitchenAid hand mixer that has little smaller pieces for the beaters, this worked really well. It was efficient. It took about half the time as the stand mixer, and I highly recommend this method because the texture was perfect and it worked very well. So you can see that texture is perfect for chicken salad. The third method we're going to do is a chicken shredder, and this works extremely well. I really like the way it works, but the issue with this is that it does only one thing. It shreds meat. It can shred pork and things like that too, but it takes up a lot of space in the cabinet, and so it's not something I would really recommend getting. And it is tough to get all of the chicken out of, and it just does the one thing. So if you shred a lot of chicken and it's something that you'll use a whole lot, it might be worth investing in, but if it's not something that you do often, then maybe not. And then our fourth method that we're going to do is going to be with a knife, and so this one, most people have a knife in their house. The good thing about this one is that you can customize it. If you want a chunkier chicken salad, you can do that. It's a lot more labor, but it's more customizable to exactly the size that you would want your chicken to be. So that is something to think about as you go. If you look at the texture of these, you can make the decision about which one would work best for whatever chicken salad that you want to make or prefer. So number 1 is the stand mixer, so that one you can see has some chunks in it that you might need to cut up. Number 2 is the hand mixer, so that one's a little bit more even. 3 is the shredder, and that works great, but if you don't have one, it doesn't work so well. Number 4 is the knife, and that's very customizable. So we're going to add your chicken to your bowl. I ended up cutting up those little chunks of the stand mixer chicken before I put it in there. You are going to season it with some lemon pepper and Greek seasoning or whatever seasonings that you prefer. These just happen to work really well, kind of across the board. They're pretty neutral. Then you're going to add 4 big spoons of Duke's mayo. That works well for the 3 chicken breasts that we use. These were really large chicken breasts, and we only use Duke's at our house. You can add about a 1/4 cup of sweet relish, and this is adjustable based on how much you would like. You can also add things like grapes or craisins or things like that if you want to customize that a little bit more. You're also going to season it with a little bit of salt and pepper, and you may need to adjust this a little bit later, but I always add a good amount of pepper in there just to give it a little bit of a kick. You can also add things like cayenne pepper or paprika or things at this stage as well. And now we are going to add about 2 tablespoons of sugar, and this just kind of complements that sweet relish as well. I've always had chicken salad that was a little bit sweeter, so if you don't want yours sweeter, then you might not want to add the sugar in. Any of these things you can just kind of change up as you want to. So you're going to stir that until it's well combined and looks kind of even, and you're going to taste that and adjust the seasoning. Keep in mind that as this sits in the fridge, it is going to change up and those flavors are going to brighten up a little bit, because as they hydrate, once they hit the mayonnaise, it's going to be a little bit better. Then you're going to store this in an airtight container in the fridge. It does end up tasting better if you let it sit for a little bit, because those seasonings are going to get a little bit better over time, so keep that in mind. So now we are going to go with canned chicken salad. And canned chicken is a great thing to keep around for random times. It also is really good for making buffalo chicken dip if that's something that your family enjoys. Anything that you need boiled chicken for, you can save a lot of time by using canned chicken instead. So we're going to drain 2 cans of canned chicken and add that into a bowl. And these are 12.5 ounce cans. So now we are going to shred our chicken, and the favorite way for me is to use the hand mixer. So that's what I'm going to do, but shred it in whatever way makes sense for you. The hand mixer just shreds this really well. It works even better with the canned chicken because that tends to be a little bit softer than the baked chicken. And then you're going to add a heavy spoon of mayonnaise for each of your 12.5 ounce cans. So that's going to be 2 heavy spoons. I know you can tell that these are very precise measurements. And you're going to add, once again, about a 1/4 cup of sweet relish. And I tend to add a little more seasoning and relish and things to this because the canned chicken just doesn't have much flavor to it at all. So you're just going to have to add a little bit more to it to get it to taste better. And we are going to season this very, very well. We're going to add a lot more to this during this stage than we did to the earlier, because we did not have seasoning in the cooking stage of this. And the lemon is also going to help brighten this up as well. This is not going to taste quite as good as your baked chicken version, but in a pinch it's going to work great. And if you're getting things like canned chicken from the food bank, this is a great way to use that while it's not going to be affected as much by the flavor. So you're going to stir that once again until it's well combined and adjust your seasoning as well. Also, if you are donating to food banks, things like seasonings and mayonnaise and relish and things like that are not a bad thing to donate, because they're things that can make meals taste better. And that's something a lot of people don't think about when they're donating. So here's what a lot of people are waiting for: your cost breakdown. And obviously, if you're getting your shredded chicken or your canned chicken from a food bank, then we're not including that in the cost. But your baked chicken salad comes out to about $3.60 a pound. I paid about $2.69 a pound for the chicken itself. So without all the other ingredients, that's what it worked out to. And then the canned chicken salad came out to about $6.80 a pound. So canned chicken is a little more expensive than fresh chicken. But like I said, if it's something that you have already in the house, it might be a little bit more of a cost savings. So that's something to think about. But the real kicker with this is how much your pre-purchased chicken salad can cost, because the cheapest store-bought chicken salad I found was $7.92 a pound at Walmart, and the most expensive I found was $10.99 a pound at Lowe's Foods. And this was for the most basic version. By the time you added in the ones that had like grapes and stuff, it was more expensive. So chicken salad is not something you ever need to purchase. It's pretty easy to make. It tastes a lot better when you make it yourself and you have the pride of making something that's delicious. Let us know in the comments if you decide to try this. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.